guys, this is Steve Rozenberg in Dallas with Empire Industries, Property Management and Realty Services. First of all, how do you know who is the number one property management company in Dallas? Who is the best? It's a weird question to ask because there's really no straight answer. And the reason I say that is whoever the best is going to be who matches your goals the most. So if I own properties that are maybe lower income properties or high cash flow, or they may need a certain type of property management company. If I have another company that, or other properties that are high rentals and they do a certain type of Airbnb, that's another type of management. So the best property management company, in my opinion, is the one that actually matches your goals. The only way, in my opinion, that you can know if you are picking the right property management company for you is by asking questions. You've got to be serious and ask questions. Don't, in my opinion, just pick the cheapest company because they may not match your goals and they may not help you best get the return out of your investment property. And what I mean by that is if you have a property that is a upper end, let's say $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month rental, and you hire a company that only manages $500 rentals, they may not be able to service the client correctly because that's a different level of service that this client may want. Same thing, vice versa. So again, you just want to ask those questions. What is the average rent range that you manage? And you want to really drill down into that and say, okay, of those, how many properties do you manage in that rent range that match mine? Then you may want to ask other questions. For example, you may want to ask, what is your average days on market when your properties are vacant? How do you lease your properties? Do you put them just on the multiple listing service? Do you have your website? Do you take professional pictures? These are things that you want to know. When the property is going to be shown, how is it shown? Are you a full realty and brokerage, or do you sub it out to other agents? These are things you really want to find out and you want to ask to make sure that you are picking the right partner, because that's really what this is. This is a partnership. When you own an investment property, that property management company will be the decision as to whether you are successful or whether you are not successful in getting the monthly return month after month, year after year with your property. So here in Dallas, you want to make sure you pick the right company. Hopefully it's mine, as long as we match your goals. Next thing I would ask them is, what is the vacancy rate? How many people do you not have living in properties? If it's very high, then you may want to know why. Next question would be, what is the eviction rate? How many tenants do you have to evict? That tells me how they're doing on screening their tenants. I have personally learned that if you pick the right tenant, a lot of problems go away. If you pick the wrong tenant, you're in for a lot of headache and a lot of nightmare stories like you always hear. And to me, that starts and stops with picking the right tenant. We at Empire, we have a 20-point tenant screening process. We are very, very thorough. We even screen pets. We have a pet screening process that actually screens the pets to make sure we are picking the right pet, and we are doing a background check on that pet, believe it or not, because they are in your investment property and we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing and picking the right person. Next, I would ask, when you do a make ready, when you get the property ready for rent, what does that cost? What is the average cost of a make ready? That's important to know because you want to make sure, is this person going to be overcharging me, undercharging me? Do they use licensed and insured vendors? If I get sued, can that pass on to the vendor that did the work? If you're using the chuck in a truck cheap guy and the house catches on fire and there's a lawsuit, that's going to be on you, the owner. Even if the property management company hired them, that still could come back to you because you are the owner of the property. So these are things you want to be careful. You want to make sure. Then I would ask them, how do the tenants pay rent? That's a big question, right? For example, for us, we have tenants, they can pay rent with a credit card. They can pay rent with an ACH transfer. They can do auto draft every month. We can walk it in and they can mail it in. So we give them 5 ways they can pay. I want to make sure that any way a tenant can pay me can happen. Other companies, they just allow them to walk it in. So I don't think that's very expeditious. Now, the next thing is we feel that when we get 98% of all of our rents come in online, when we get them online, we're able to push them out to the owners. We wire it directly to your bank account and we do it expeditiously. And then the next question you should ask is, what days do you actually pay the rent? I don't want a property that I don't get my rent until the 15th or the 20th because my mortgage may be due on the 10th. So you want to know, when do you actually pay and how do you pay? Do you mail it? Do you wire it? And what is the reporting? What kind of reports do I get? So we do full comprehensive reports. you may have a property that doesn't need reporting or doesn't need wire transfers, and maybe that's not the right fit for you. So you see how you want to make sure you're asking them the right questions to see if they're going to be a fit. You want to make sure that they're a partner and that they're an educator. Buying properties and renting them out for the long term is a team effort. It takes a lot of people, and you got to make sure you have the right people on your team. We help a lot of investors, whether you want us to help you buy a property, sell a property. We do a lot of investor portfolio analysis to make sure that your properties are doing well, whether they're performing at the proper return, or maybe we have to do something to get that. These are things that we help you with as your team to make sure that you are wealthy. So if you want to talk to us here in the Dallas area, please give us a call. I'm Steve Rozenberg. I'm the owner of Empire Industries, and I'd be happy to talk to you. And if you're not the right fit for us, we can definitely pass you on to someone and find you the right property management company that does fit your needs. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.